Hi, Tile from Infidelity here. Today we're going to talk about a really cool Bluetooth streaming speaker, but it's oh so much more than that. The Creative Sound Blaster Roar SR20. This is a $199 product and really is packed with all sorts of features. I'll try to get through them as best I can. There's likely going to be some stuff that gets left out of this video for length. So I really suggest you click the link below the video on the YouTube channel and go to the article if you're really interested about it, because there's just lots and lots to talk about. So to quickly go over the features of this unit, it has two forward-facing 1.5-inch tweeters and one 2.5-inch driver that's upward-facing for the mids and bass, and two passive radiators on either side to produce to reinforce the bass frequencies. It has a DSP internally and an active crossover, and so the sound is split into the high and low frequencies necessary for the two sets of drivers using the DSP and acting as an active crossover, and then separate power amplifiers drive the speakers. The features on this thing, as I said, are just extraordinary, and I'll try to go through them rather quickly. First, it has an external power supply, a 15-volt supply. It charges the unit in about 3.5 hours. It has a 6,000 milliamp hour battery internally and will run for about 8 hours on the battery. The USB connector on the back can be used to charge other devices, so this unit can act as a storage battery, and it does not have to be turned on to use this output to charge your phone, for example. It has an auxiliary in, so this is a line in on a 3.5 millimeter jack, so you can just directly plug whatever you want to play into the line in. It also has a USB input, so you can use it from your computer as a USB speaker. And it has a micro SD card internally here, the 32 gigabyte maximum micro SD card, and will act as a standalone player for your music. These controls here control the player, so I can turn it on by pushing this button. And fast forward to the next song, for example. And it can go either random or continuous. We'll turn the sound down. Well, I'll just turn it off. It can go in random or continuous mode. So you can't really select a particular song to play. You just have to let it play through what's on the disc, either random or continuously. I suggest that if you want to have playlists, the way to do it is to just use different micro SD cards with different sets of music on it. It of course pairs with Bluetooth as well, so you can play music from Bluetooth. It does use the SBC protocol and has aptX, AAC, and one more codec I can't remember off the top of my head. So it does play pretty much as good a resolution as is currently available over Bluetooth, which is pretty good. It does have NFC pairing, so you can pair it by just tapping your phone if it's NFC enabled. This button is a multifunction button, and it's used to activate the search and the awareness needed to connect to a Bluetooth device. Has this up and down volume control. It has this roar button, and the roar button, what it does is kind of make it louder in the treble region, some of the mid-range frequencies, in order to make it more intelligible in a loud environment like a party. I think it sounds worse with the roar button on. It plays plenty loud without it for normal uses. I suppose it may be better for a party, but I liked it with the roar button off. It was certainly able to fill up a room. The last two rather weird functions on the back here are the life-saving mode and the alarm. You can arm the alarm and hold this button down. makes an annoying alarm sound, except it's really, I don't think it's loud enough to be heard over really long distances. The other mode is this life-saving mode, and I'm going to turn it on. And what it will do in this mode is will help to keep you awake by playing random noises occasionally at random intervals, like somewhere between every 1 and 3 minutes or so, from what I can tell. I'm going to leave it on so occasionally, as through this the rest of this interview, you can hear some of these strange noises that it makes. Basically, I thought the unit sounded fairly good. It didn't sound quite as good out of the box, and what I discovered was that it had its internal equalization set to be a little more exciting sounding in the showroom or something. I don't know. But the bottom line is you can go to the Creative Labs website and get the Sound Blaster control panel for this unit and go in and reset the equalizer to flat. And then when you do that, I found... So there's an example of some of the noises it'll make to try to keep you awake. It'll randomly do that. We'll get some other noises here sometime soon. Where was I after that weirdness? So once you've connected up this Sound Blaster control panel that's running on a computer, it doesn't have any iOS or Android apps yet, but there probably will be, as they have them on their other products. You can control all the equalization settings and a variety of other settings, set it back to flat, and then it sounds pretty good. Not great, but good. Certainly quite good for a player of this price and size, but it sounds a little hard, and as it starts playing louder, a little bit distorted. But I again would say that given its size and the type of unit this is and the price, I thought it was quite fairly good on that regard. Maybe the most important feature for me was that it's also a voice recorder and telephone recorder, and it acts as a speakerphone. When you've attached your phone to this unit as a all right, I'll turn it off now that you've heard a couple of them. When you attach your cell phone to it, it acts as a speakerphone. When your phone rings, it'll mute whatever's music is playing, either on the phone or through the SD card or line input or whatever. It'll mute the music and allow you to talk to the person who's calling you through a mic on the front of the unit, and it operated really, really nicely as a speakerphone. And then pushing this button it will begin to record your telephone conversation if you're on the phone. And I've tried a number of Android apps for recording phone calls when I do interviews, and I found all of them pretty poor, and this thing worked great for that. So I'm really happy about that. Also, if you're not on the phone and hit the record button, it will just act as a voice recorder, and you can record notes or whatever like that. There's also a little mute switch to mute the front panel mic if you'd like to do that. I found in terms of placement, when you place it on a table, it gets a little honky sounding due to the proximity of the tweeters to the surface down here, and you've got a little bit of a horn created in the geometry of this space. So it created some notches in the frequency response when it was put in that position. I tended to, when I was on my desk, I would put it on something like that, where the tweeters were clear of the front of a surface in front of them, and they sounded much better. When I put it into a room to try to fill the room with space, I found the best position was again on some sort of a small shelf with the tweeters even with the front of the shelf, and then with the wall behind it, it had some base reinforcement due to the wall, the boundary of the wall, and put it at the middle of the wall. The upward firing speaker did a good job of bouncing some sound off the ceiling, in the rear wall and the forward firing tweeters tended to do a good job of projecting the sound into the room. Really did a fine job in those positions. So yes, I definitely like this unit, definitely enjoy it. I will definitely be taking it on trips with me, as it works great as a little office mate where you can listen to music and answer your phone and play music on your computer and so on and so forth. For $199, I think it's an absolute steal. I believe they're going to be available next month, so sometime late April or beginning of May, I believe they're going to become available at $199. I hope you get a chance to hear one, play around with one. Better yet, if you need yourself a little audio toolkit, go buy one. It's a lot of fun. Alright, we'll see you next time.